Like, look at this, just sitting out here, listening to this, enjoying this. We're lucky I didn't build my home here. I'm Kim Verkirk. I'm one of the owners here at Schott Lake Conference and Resort. When we've originally designed it and did the planning for it, it was kind of like, pillars of family and nature and fun. Being a Northern Ontario girl and wanting a little bit of lake and nature and stuff like that, I figured, it might be the right thing to do. I just didn't think that there was anything in Alberta that was offering, like kids' nature programs and the ability to go camping, and for even, office people to get away from retreats and, do team building out with nature and, enjoy all of that. So the Campground, Motel, there's also some cabins, and, the other thing is that good food.
5.5 years ago, I sat down with one of the owners, Kim. We started talking about food, something I'm very passionate about. We talked about this for over an hour on the patio. I liked what I heard from their side. I love the location. I seen that it was growing. I see how all the money they were putting into it to develop it and whatnot. I seen huge potential. I grew up in the backcountry. This was right up my alley. I jumped at the opportunity. I told her let's start right now, basically. I love the atmosphere of the place. I love the people that come. And I love the freedom to make whatever I want to make here. It's something you don't get in a lot of places. You have a lot of people pushing you to make this, make that. And I've been given complete culinary freedom since I came here, and that was a huge, huge turn on for me when I came.
What immediately stands out when you get to Schott Lake is as you pull up the driveway, you come to a security gate. It almost feels like you're entering a provincial park, entering Banff or Jasper. And as you look around, it's very scenic. And then as you pull in past those gates, the beauty really kind of hits you in the face. This is an exciting project. So I handle real estate in Alberta and British Columbia, and these places don't come up for sale. You can't just, look on a website and find a resort and conference center and buy it. So this is unique, where it checks off, a lot of boxes for, somebody that wants to have a really valuable and profitable business where, you have a 5-star restaurant and, a place where weddings and all kinds of festivals are being held. Right now there's a Ukrainian festival going to be hosted here today, with a motel on site that's all year round. And then, of course, camping spots for RVs and tents. You just don't find a place like that. So it's a great opportunity.
Well, I'm not sure if you're aware of just like how much goes on out here in Mountain View County. Like they've got everything from whitewater rafting, the horseback riding, Yaha Tinda, one of Canada's national parks. It's one of the only operating dude ranches, I think, in Canada and stuff like that. Ram Falls, and there's so much hiking. There's 3 golf courses in the area. We've got some guests that have been kind of stuck with us since the beginning. Not only has the staff, but the guests have as well. They come back year after year after year. And that really is key to building a business like this.
Buyers are asking, what can they do with the additional half quarter, the additional 80 acres that's, more or less farmland. So that's one avenue that there's some questions, and, the pursuit of maybe creating a golf course there, a 9-hole golf course there, maybe putting up a hotel there. There's avenues and that you have to investigate, and there's some possibilities there.
You know what? There's 5,000 things that can actually go on here, right? If you really put your mind to it, and the different type of businesses go on. But I think just that nature and that core value and building anything around that really, is what it's all about.
And they do have events that happen all year round. I mean, they speak very highly of their Santa Claus festival in the wintertime, where it sounds like it's something you want to take in.
I absolutely do love when we do the breakfast with Santa. When Santa comes through and all the kids' faces just light up, and it's just that's one of my favorite things, honestly. My kids come to it every year. They're super excited for it. They talk about it. As soon as the snow starts falling, they start talking about it. It's fantastic. My kids were very young when we moved here. My one boy was not even in school yet, and my other daughter was just starting school. So they've made a lot of friends in this area, and they've grown to really like the country. I don't think they remember the city, honestly.
It really warms my heart when people come in and they stay here, or they eat in the restaurant and they have some of the fabulous food and some of the quality of the offering that we have, that they say to me, wow, I can't believe that you built this, and where you've built it, and thank you for building it, and I'm gonna go tell 10, 15 people and bring them on back. And that's exactly what we want, is we're the families and say, oh, I know this perfect place in order to bring the family and go do, those event kind of things.
I think the only true path to sell a property like this it's through auction and through a company as large as Ritchie Bros. It basically provides people all the information they need. No expenses are spared in broadcasting all the features of the property, but then having a hard date where you need to make a decision so that, we're not here to ponder a purchase over a year or 2 years. There's opportunity to make offers on this property prior to auction. If you have interest in the property, you can make a traditional offer. Contact me directly. We'll put an offer on paper, present it to the owners, and if they accept, we can cancel the auction. If that doesn't happen, then it can flow through to the auction, so then you need a bidding account. You need to speak with me to get a bidding limit increased, and we'll ask you some vetting questions to make sure that you're able to close on the property, whatever that dollar figure is. And it's pretty simple. It is not complicated, but I'm here to assist all buyers through that process, whether it be through conventional offer or through the auction process, even if it means some fine tuning or negotiations after the fact.